Hello, and welcome back to Vinyl Fury. We've got another small stack of records to show today, and we're just going to get right into it. So, last video I showed some indie folk records, and today we're going to get a little heavier. So, first up is the fifth album from Stone Temple Pilots. This is Shangri-La-Dee-Da, and this is the first vinyl pressing of it, and it's from Music on Vinyl, who pretty consistently do great vinyl pressings of either long out of print or never pressed music on vinyl. And they've done all the other albums before this. The last record they did with Scott, I think it's still in print actually. But this is their last great one, in my opinion. And I forgot how great it is, actually. I hadn't listened to it in quite a while. I don't recall ever owning the CD. This came out in 2001, so I was kind of waning on this kind of sound, I guess. I remember the couple of singles that came out around that time, but they don't really represent the album as a whole. There's more, when I was listening to this, there was more of tiny music in it than I remembered. And it was really a blend, it seemed like, of number 4 with that heavier guitar tone and the more psychedelic leaning, experimentally more kind of Beatles-esque type songwriting and production. And it worked really well. I really enjoyed listening to this again, and I'm glad I got it on vinyl. And I believe I got it on Amazon, and it wasn't very expensive compared to what Music on Vinyl can typically go for, since they're all imports. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this. It was great to get into the STP sound again, and it's made me want to go back and listen to the other records again as well. And it actually, it got me thinking about Scott Weiland, and I just ordered his autobiography, which I've read mixed things about, but I'm gonna give it a chance. So this one's been a long time coming. This is Hum, Downward is Heavenward. So ever since, I have this camera over here, and I have the screen flipped to me, but it's like, okay, how do I do this? Shop Radiocast pressed their first album, or I guess that was their second. You'd Prefer an Astronaut. And there was some contention there. The band really didn't sign off on that themselves. It was just kind of a handshake between the label that owned their album and SRC. Some people thought that it didn't sound great. It was fine to me. And I believe SRC was going to do this, but somehow that didn't happen. The band themselves and their singer Matt said that they were going to do it through his label, and it took quite a while, but it finally did happen. And it happened really well, thankfully. So it's a double LP. It is pressed at RTI, already great. Gatefold jacket. Pretty standard there. It sounds fantastic. It was cut from the master tape, and great care was done in doing that properly. And he was very diligent about doing that as well as possible. And he did do it all himself. He mailed out the records themselves. The first release of it online was kind of a clusterfuck. I guess the SD card on one of the cameras that I had set up just filled up. So I imagine this might go out as well. before we're done, but here we go. So the original release of this online, it went really fast. And the way that it was set up, payment-wise, if you had one in your cart, it wasn't held for you. So if somebody else managed to check out quicker, you were shit out of luck. And that's what happened to me when I was trying to get that the first time. People were really upset. They tried to work that out. The second time it went up, I couldn't get one, just the record. The only one that it was available to me was the one that came with a screen printed piece of art, which was really cool, but made it was as expensive to begin with. I think, if I remember right, it was about $40. And then it was about $60 with the print. But yep, there went the other camera. So this is what we're working with. Okay, so this is not going well. My iPhone 11, which I'm using to shoot this, stopped recording. I don't think it's full. It's quite a large capacity, but I started it over, and hopefully we'll get through this one. So where was I? Yeah, it was tough to spend that much money, but it does sound really good. Really good. And it is a very, very excellent album, and glad to have it. It was repressed. This is on black. Put it out on blue, and that didn't go nearly as fast. In fact, I think I checked up on it a little bit after it had been released, and it was still available. And if it's still available, I'll leave a link to that. So yeah, Hum, Downward is Heavenward. Excellent to have on vinyl. Next up is Pelican. This is not a new album. This is from 2013. This is Forever Becoming, but it's a remixed version of that record. So I guess the production of that was kind of rushed, and the mixing process was kind of rushed in order to get it out. I don't know why. Maybe they're going on a tour or something like that. I thought the record sounded fine. Apparently they thought that it could be better. The engineer went back, remixed it, definitely gave it some more clarity and punch and overall space, carved out the space a bit more. He definitely did a much better job. And they thought it was significant enough that it be reissued, repressed on vinyl. And because I already owned it, I was like, I'm not going to buy that again. But I found it at a record store. It was still sealed, but it was on sale. It was like $15. I was like, well, I know it does sound better, and if I can just sell the original for more than that, then I guess why not? I'll give it a shot. So I did, and it's still a thick gatefold jacket. The same artwork as I recall. It's just got this gold trim on it rather than the white that it had originally. And I actually did just sell, like the other day, my original pressing. And this is just on black vinyl. And I believe this is pressed at RTI as well. So yeah, Pelican is a heavy post-rock band, instrumental for at least the vast majority. And I enjoy them very much. And lastly, for this evening, this is the most recent album from Norma Jean. It's called All Hail. And Norma Jean, I've talked about before. A very heavy metal, kind of hardcore band. They love botch, if you know who they are. And they're still doing it. And I loved this. There are times they are like really, really heavy, and it's awesome. The vocalist has a very strong throat, I must say. This is kind of cool. It's got a die cut cover, opens out, and this insert is also die cut. And the records slide out from the top. printed inner sleeves, in a very nice color. I love yellow and orange individually, and records that are yellow and orange together. I love that shit. So this is perfect. And this is one where when it first was announced, it was like $30 on pre-order, and I was like, oh man, come on, I'm not going to do that. And then for some reason they put it on sale for, I think they halved it. I think it was $15 plus shipping. I was like, I don't know why they're doing that. And some people were kind of pissed because they paid full price for it. But I was like, and I'd heard the record at the time, and all right, that's worth it. So I got it, and this one came with a high-res download as well. I think it was $24.96, which I don't know about you, but several of the records that I've bought over the last year have not included download cards for some reason. And that's really disappointing because, I mean, not everyone is signed up for a streaming service, and not all streaming services are going to be around forever. At least having a file locally, especially if you paid that much for the physical product, to leave a little paper that says you can download it in addition is more than fair, I would say. And yet, for some reason, people just aren't doing that as much. And there's really no excuse for it. Just put it on Bandcamp, host it somewhere, whatever. Bandcamp is the easiest. And you can download any of several file formats. It's great. So some people aren't doing it at all, and then some people are doing it really well, where they're giving you like a high-res version of it, if you'd like, which is, I think, is great. But yeah, it's a really disappointing trend that I'm seeing. But that does it for this batch of records. So I have another 8 or so, if I recall correctly. But it's been so long since I've gotten those. I feel like I should listen to them again, especially with my new cartridge, and before I talk about the pressings themselves. So I have no idea when I'm going to do it again. But I will. And like I said, I want to talk about this new cartridge and update anyone who wants to be updated on the other things that I'm up to. But since I'm already having technical difficulties, I'm going to end for the night. And hopefully, in the meantime, when these go out, I'll do that one. And then we'll go from there. We'll see what happens. Thank you for watching. It's nice to be back. It's nice to finally do this. And I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to talk to you again soon. VC, thanks a lot. Cheers. Until next time, enjoy your music.